Well, we continue our coverage looking into the death of Navy sailor Angelina Resendiz, and we're hearing from her mom again this evening. Thank you for joining us for 13 News Now at 6. I'm Janet Roach.
And I'm Dana Smith. Resendiz's family is demanding answers after her body was found off base nearly 2 weeks after she vanished from Naval Station Norfolk. Esmeralda Castle says too often families are left in the dark. She's Angelina's mother, even though they deserve to be part of the conversation.
There needs to be an acknowledgement and an acceptance that there is a failed system and it's failed people over and over and over again. And until it is acknowledged and there is acceptance to the flaws that there is, like, change is required.
The death of Resendiz has devastated and shocked her family and left them with questions about how this happened and why the information flowed the way it did. Tonight, Rhiel is breaking down the timeline 2 weeks to the day since she was last reported seen.
Angelina Resendiz was last seen at her barracks Thursday, May 29th in Miller Hall at Naval Station Norfolk around 10 a.m. On that same day, friends of Resendiz called her mother, Esmeralda Castle, out of concern. Castle says she contacted Navy leadership to inquire about Resendiz's whereabouts. Later on the 29th, Castle says she received a call from Navy leadership saying they had found Angelina and that she was fine. Michael J. Muhammad, a spokesperson for the family, says Castle asked to speak to Angelina, but was told not at that time.
They told her that would happen later in the day. It, of course, never happened, and we find out that that absolutely, of course, was not true. Why that was reported, what ambiguity existed, we have no idea.
The morning of May 30th, Castle says she tried reaching out to Angelina and got no response. Castle says Resendiz also missed work on the 30th. Castle says at that time, Resendiz's friends reported her absence to investigators. On Saturday, May 31st, a missing persons report is filed with the Norfolk Police Department, according to the Naval Criminal Investigative Service, which launches a full investigation. On June 3rd, Virginia State Police declares a critically missing alert on behalf of NCIS.
The first 48 hours are the most critical, and so absolutely having it filed 6 days later was detrimental to the case.
On June 5th, Castle flies from Texas to Norfolk in hopes of learning more about her daughter's disappearance.
She did everything that she could to contact the people who were familiar with her daughter.
On Saturday, June 7th, Castle called for transparency in an interview with 13 News Now and flies back to Texas that night. On Monday, June 9th, around 8 p.m., investigators from Norfolk Police Department and NCIS respond to an area near Broad Creek, less than 10 miles from Naval Station Norfolk. At 9:30 p.m., NCIS confirms that a body was found. At 4 p.m. on Tuesday, June 10th, the Resendiz family confirms the remains were Resendiz. In that same statement, the family called on elected officials to address systemic issues. It says allowed Resendiz to vanish and demanded accountability. At 4:45 on Tuesday, June 10th, NCIS announced that another sailor has been placed in pretrial confinement. And on Wednesday, June 11th, Virginia Senator Mark Warner tells media that the family deserves an investigation. In Norfolk, I'm Rhiel, 13 News Now.